Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome, everybody. It's another Monday. I'm telling you, I say it all the time, but holy man, time is going by fast, right? I hope you had a great weekend. We had a good weekend here on the homestead. We got a lot done. We were out fixing fences. We fixed a lot of the fencing, and now, cross your fingers, Bubba Faka has not been out in a couple of days now. In a couple of days, Bubba Fokker has not been out. This is, of course, my yearling calf. Yearling, I guess it's not a calf anymore. He has notoriously, he's a roamer. He's a nomad. He's been getting out now for weeks. And I think we have him contained. I think we finally have him contained. So that's awesome. Also, we got all our chickens back in the run. So I spent a lot of time cleaning up after chickens, got the deck all cleaned off and all that stuff. So it was chore weekend around here, just chores. But it's good. It's good to get out and get your hands in the dirt and work on things and accomplish things. It does give you such a sense of accomplishment when you're done. You're like, oh, thank goodness that's finally fixed. So anyway, we got some exercise into. We went for a few runs and did some movement stuff and everything. So it wasn't all just hard hands-on work, but it was a good weekend. We got a lot accomplished. I'm so grateful that you're joining me today because I want to talk about this huge topic that I don't think enough people are talking about. And that's why I keep bringing it up. I keep bringing it up because when I was preparing for the show today, I go into the news world, right? I go into the virtual reality news world on the social media platforms, trying to find news stories that I think really matter to you when it comes to your health and other things too. Anything that's going to impact your life. I feel like I need to bring visibility to it. And I've just noticed that the social media platforms have changed again. And I think they're always changing because that's the algorithm. It's just once you get it figured out, it seems like it changes. But I will say that I think it is becoming so saturated with noise that it's boring. It's not giving the same payoff, I feel like, as it used to. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But it seems pretty boring. I can't even really isolate what the top story is on some of these social media platforms anymore because there's just so much noise. But I will say that most people are still completely fixated on politics. If it's this story or that story, it's all kind of going back into politics. And here's what my concern is with that. We are probably at the most transformative crossroads we have ever been at. I don't think the Industrial Revolution is comparable to this. I can't think of anything that's comparable to this. And that is, of course, the AI digital revolution. And so, I got off the social media platforms. I'm like, I need to talk about this. So I started searching some of the latest, news stuff coming from the people who are really carrying the AI technology forward. And I came across this podcast with Dave Blunden, who's the founder of Link Ventures, Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, and Peter Diamandis, who is all into tech, longevity especially. These guys are billionaires, likely, just these guys are all in, okay? Especially when it comes to technology and the AI revolution. So I'm listening to this as I'm doing some weights this morning, and I'm just thinking, oh, am I like the only one that is like understanding where we are right now when it comes to this crossroads, and we're diving off the cliff into the digital revolution, and it's happening everywhere. Like I think a few years ago, I was so naive. I think a few years ago, I was thinking, maybe we'll be able to stop it, right? Maybe we'll be able to slow it down at least so that people can have at least have a chance to catch up, to understand what they're consenting to? No. No. That's not going to happen. And the reason why that's not going to happen is because everybody's head is buried in the latest news story, the latest drama, and I understand why, because, Epstein, child trafficking, it's horrific. Like, I understand why people are focused on that. But at the same time, this is what I was telling Jason. I'm like, I feel like we're standing on train tracks and we see the train coming, and yet we're not getting off the track, or we're not doing anything to slow the train. Like, we see it coming. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But we're not doing anything about it. And that is AI in a nutshell. It isn't Chat GPT. That's not AI. Okay, that's a offshoot of AI. That's a product of AI, a little one. But that's how most people are understanding artificial intelligence. And that is like, oh my gosh, that's like one little drop. That's like one little drop of impact. No. This revolution of machine learning, large language learning, like all of it is going to have such a big impact. There is nothing that will not be changed by this. It's already changed, actually. I can't even talk about it like it's coming. We're living it already. And so let's get to one clip first. Here is Eric Schmidt being interviewed by Peter Diamandis. He's talking about the promise of the superbrain. The superbrain, of course, what they're talking about here is transhumanism and how we're going to incorporate the biological machine, the biological with machine. Anyway, let's start unpacking this huge topic. We're not going to get through it all. We're just going to discuss what we can here. Let's take a look at this. This is Eric Schmidt.
In the Western world. And it's important to note that China has lots of electricity. So if they get the chips, it's going to be one heck of a race.
Yeah, they've been scaling it, at 2 or 3 times the U.S. The U.S. has been flat for how long in terms of energy production?
From my perspective, infinite. In fact, electricity demand declined for a while, as has overall energy needs because of conservation and other things. Mm-hmm. But the data center story is the story of the energy people, right? And you sit there and you go, how could these data centers use so much power? Well, and especially when you think about how little power our brains do, mm-hmm. Well, these are our best approximation in digital form of how our brains work. But when they start working together, they become superbrains. The promise of a superbrain with a 1 gigawatt, for example, data center is so palpable, people are going crazy. And by the way, the economics of these things are unproven. How much revenue do you have to have $50 billion in capital? Well, if you depreciate it over...
Couple things that stand out here from this clip. So that's Eric Schmidt on a podcast with Peter Diamandis and Dave Blunden. And, first of all, let me just say this. Okay, let me just say this. It feels like to me, just as like a normal person, right, trying to understand the digital revolution and where we're headed with artificial intelligence and everything, just like I'm just a regular person, okay? When I listen to these people talk, it's like they've lost the scope of humanity. They are so compartmentalized that they've lost the full view of humanity. That's what I see here. It's either that, okay, they've lost the full spectrum, they've lost the full view of humanity, or they're kind of evil. And they're so fixated on progress, which honestly is the old model of eugenics, that they don't really care what happens to humanity. the merging of machine with human, that's what they care about. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
We're back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. So glad. I want to get something out of the way here as I'm talking about this artificial intelligence. I know it seems dark. You know, this is a huge topic and it seems dark, like, you know, the robotic overlords are going to enslave us and we're all going to die. That's not what I want to talk about here. And that's not my belief either. I simply want to bring awareness to the changes that are coming, because I think once we are aware, I've been talking about this now for weeks. Humanity possesses consciousness, unlike machines. And our way to navigate through this transformation into the digital, revolution is through our consciousness. It is elevating our consciousness, bringing understanding that we have higher faculties that we can actually work on and improve so that we can stay ahead of this thing. And nobody talks about that on these podcasts, right? All they talk about, these guys that are, enthralled in this and with this, they just all their focus is on the machines and how to improve the capability of the machine. I mean, Eric Schmidt says in this clip we just watched, that the AI is the best approximation of a brain, but it is only strong and stronger than the average human because of its ability to take all of our brains together and maximize the function of all of our brains, right? So it's almost like, what it is that humans lack the ability to organize as well as artificial intelligence, right? Because artificial intelligence is, you just program it to do that, right? Whereas humans have free will. And so I don't want to do that. I want to, I disagree with you. There's all that going on. Anyway, I think it's important that people understand what's coming and what life will look like, because it's actually already here. We just haven't fully stepped into everything about it yet. They talk at length through this podcast, is an hour and a half long. And there's some terms in here that I think most people they talk about them like it's, just in regular vocabulary for everybody. And I happen to know it's not. I happen to know that most people, if I'm going down to the grocery store here in my little town and I start talking to people about the agentic revolution, they're not going to know what I'm talking about. And so if you don't know what that is, how are you going to keep your agency through it? How are you going to keep your sovereign self through that? Because the algorithms and whatnot we consume every day, they're making people go unconscious, and they are capturing people's consciousness, and therefore they're controlling their actions, because of what you think controls your actions, right? What you think about something, your opinion, how you feel about it, that all controls what you do in the real world. And a lot of people aren't aware that their algorithms are pushing a very specific agenda. Once you become aware of that, then you can look at your phone and look at it more objectively, like, hey, why, this is trying to teach me what to think, right? It's actually trying to instruct me. That's what your algorithm does. It's instruction, how to feel, what to do. It's all highly curated and individualized to you based on how you're programming it, what you swipe on, what you like, what you type, what you post, what you watch most of. You're curating your own algorithm, and then that algorithm is being used to control the way you think and how you act. And don't take my word for it. I'm not just a crazy lady on here. Like, listen to this podcast. They talk all about it. Yeah, we know how that is. We know that the algorithm, it's not news to them. People like that built this thing. Let's go to the second clip, because I think it explains more about the agentic revolution. What is an agent? Everybody will have an AI agent that represents them in the virtual world and even crossover into reality. I know it's hard to wrap your brain around if all this stuff is new to you, but you got to understand this. Check it out.
Yeah.
So the following things are baked in. You're going to have an agentic revolution where agents are connected to solve business processes, government processes, and so forth. They will be adopted most quickly in companies that have a lot of money and a lot of time latency issues at stake. It will be adopted most slowly in places like government, which do not have an incentive for innovation, and fundamentally are job programs and redistribution of income kind of programs. So call it what you will. The important thing is that there will be a tip of the spear in places like financial services, certain kind of biomedical things, startups, and so forth. And that's the place to watch. So all of that is going to happen. The agents are going to happen. This math thing is going to happen. The software thing is going to happen. We can debate the rate at which the biological revolution will occur, but everyone agrees that it's right after, that we're very close to these major biological understandings. In physics, you're limited by data, but you can generate it synthetically. There are groups which I'm funding, which are generating physics, essentially models that can approximate algorithms that cannot be, they're incomputable. So in other words, you have essentially a foundation model that can answer the question good enough for the purposes of doing physics without having to spend 1 million years doing the computation of quantum chromodynamics and things like that.
Yep.
All of that's going to happen. The next questions have to do with what is the point in which this becomes a national emergency? And it goes something like this. Everything I've talked about is in the positive domain, but there's a negative domain as well. The ability for biological attacks, obviously cyber attacks. Imagine a cyber attack that we as humans cannot conceive of, which means there's no defense for it because no one ever thought about it, right? These are real issues. A biological attack, you take a virus, I won't obviously go into the details, you take a virus that's bad and you make it undetectable by some changes in its structure, which again, I won't go into the details. We released a whole report at the national level on this issue.
So it's, his concern is all about national security. This could tend to lead to terrorism. This is the new way of war for sure. There isn't going to be, kinetic war as we've known it in the past moving forward. And the real race here, you can compare it to the nuclear race, right? But this is so much bigger than that. Because the nuclear power race was, we have these nukes and, we got to get up first. And it was kind of isolated to war there. But the race in artificial intelligence, it affects you in your daily life. I know that nukes will affect you in your daily life if someone detonates one, right? But I'm talking just the way you get up in the morning and how you navigate your day. That's the impact of artificial intelligence. And there'll be almost no way to not participate in it. You just won't be able to exist without being a part of it. And that's what I'm thinking that a lot of people don't really understand. They don't understand the ripple effect of this. They think of it just as a tool, and it is a tool. It could be just a tool, but the thing that is so obvious to me is that we are not having this discussion about how AI is going to impact everybody's life. There's a total disregard in this AI culture, in this field. Total disregard that a lot of people may not want this kind of innovation. They don't even consider that. And the reason why they don't consider it is because it's a must in their mentality. Because if we don't, China will, and China will destroy us. So much to say about this. It's going to take a few days, to unpack all of this. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. We've got a whole show for you today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, so stay tuned.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's Preferred Collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
We're back. I want to tell you about my 30-minute free assessments that I offer. Did you know that I offer a 30-minute free assessment? I do. If you want to get consciously clean, if you want to find out what is standing in the way between you and your optimum health, do you feel overwhelmed by all the health information available to you? Do you not know where to start? I mean, you just go online and you're like inundated with protocols and philosophy about how to get healthy. And it is a lot. Sometimes just a quick conversation, 30 minutes, we go through a few questions and we can sort out your top priorities with your health concerns and how to move forward. Here's something from Jen in Fort Collins. She said, sent me a little note saying that my assessment gave her clarity that she had never had before. And the product recommendations have changed everything. She has more energy. She has better sleep. And she finally feels in control of her health. And sometimes that's all you need is to pick a path, instead of standing back and looking at all the different paths you could take. Maybe it's just time to pick a path and get walking on it. And that's what happened to Jen. So glad that it's working for her and so many of our customers here with Naturally Inspired. So book yours today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. All you have to do is click on that at naturallyinspiredstore.com, click on 30-minute assessment, get it booked, and we'll spend some time together. naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have questions, text me 720-303-8868. All right. I was trying to sort my thoughts out about the artificial intelligence stuff because I don't want to come at it from a fear base because you know what? God's in control here. You got to live every day being great in gratitude for life. And as the AI revolution continues, I find I have more gratitude for my farm. I have more gratitude for my relationships. I have more gratitude for my animals. I have more gratitude for trees, for all of it. And that helps me stay centered and feeling the way I deserve to feel, right? Because you deserve to feel joy. You deserve to feel gratitude. And so I don't want this darkness to, come over everybody and you feel so, so helpless that you can't do anything to stop this. You can do something. And what you can do is understand it. Understand that it's coming, understanding its impact, because once you understand it, you can look at it from, oh, okay, I see what's coming at me here, and you can use a little bit more of discernment. And if there's many people that understand what's coming, that's even better, right? Because then we can kind of all come together and be like, oh yeah, I see what we're going to miss out on if we allow this to kind of overtake us. And we could easily let it overtake us because of convenience. See, what they're doing is they're selling all the good of this thing, right? Especially when it comes to health. Let's go to the final clip here from this particular podcast, and we'll discuss afterwards. Take a listen.
We at the secret and top secret level should have the same thing.
Have you read the AI 27 paper?
I have.
And so for those listening who haven't read it, it's a future vision of the AI in US and China racing towards AI. And at some point, the story splits into we're going to slow down and work on alignment, or we're going full out. And, spoiler alert, in the race to infinity, humanity vanishes.
So the right outcome will ultimately be some form of deterrence and mutually assured destruction. I wrote a paper with two other authors, Dan Hendricks and Alex Wang, where we named it Mutual AI Malfunction. And the idea goes something like this. You're the United States, I'm China, you're ahead of me. At some point you cross a line. You, Peter, cross a line, and I, China, go, this is unacceptable. At some point, it becomes...
In terms of amount of compute and amount of...
It's something you're doing where it affects my sovereignty. Mm-hmm. It's not just words and yelling and an occasional shooting down a jet. It's a real...
Okay, this is a two-parter. I'm going to stop it there, and then I'll go to the next one. What he's talking about here, he calls mutual assured destruction. And this was the dynamic with nuke. This is the dynamics with nuclear, right? We've got our nukes. You've got our nukes. If we let off these nukes, we're all going to die. So it's like, it's a mutual assured destruction. So that keeps people from blowing the nukes, right? That's what he's describing what we need here for artificial intelligence, because we can create bioweapons with artificial intelligence. Like the way they see it, the sky's the limit with what they're going to be able to do, what the compute power, the quantum compute power it's unquantifiable. And so that's why they're saying, like, we have to come to an agreement here from country to country, which, let me tell you, the final agreement will be one world government. That'll be the final agreement. That's what they're pushing for. They've been pushing for that for a very long time. So it's interesting. Let's go to the second clip part
to the
2
identity
here.
of my country, my economic, what have you. Under this scenario, I would be highly tempted to do a cyber attack to slow you down. Okay? In mutually assured malfunction, if you will, we have to engineer it so that you have the ability to then do the same thing to me. Mm-hmm. And that causes both of us to be careful not to trigger the other. Yeah. That's what mutual assured destruction is. That's our best formulation right now. We also recommend in our work, and I think it's very strong, that the government require that we know where all the chips are. And remember, the chips can tell you where they are because they're computers.
Yeah.
And it would be easy to add a little crypto thing, which would say, yeah, here I am, and this is what I'm doing. So knowing where the chips are, knowing where the training runs are, and knowing what these fault lines are very important. Now, there are a whole bunch of assumptions in this scenario that I described. The first is that there was enough electricity. The second is that there was enough power. The third is the Chinese had enough electricity, which they do, and enough computing resources, which they may or may not have.
Or may in the future have.
Yeah. And also, I'm asserting that everyone arrives at this eventual state of superintelligence at a roughly the same time. Again, these are debatable points.
So I find it interesting because they're kind of throughout the whole podcast, they're not really talking about like the social aspects of artificial intelligence, the impact on society, on the social aspect of our lives, or really even the biological impacts. Or they're very focused on like warfare. It's also going to have economic impacts, right? So throughout the podcast, they talk about Hollywood a little bit and just how different Hollywood is even today. So right now, today, they're already making movies where they are only paying for licensing the likeness of your favorite actor. And they use William Shatner as an example. So William Shatner, they want to do a movie with William Shatner, but when he was younger. So they pay to use his likeness, and they essentially use a stand-in body, and just like a green screen, they drop in William Shatner's younger likeness, and they're able to create a whole movie with William Shatner, 40 years ago or what have you. So like they're already doing that. And here's the thing that's, I think not being measured is what is the impact on our mental health with this type of life? Because when you cannot determine fiction from reality, the brain is confused. The brain is confused. And, if you're constantly trying to assess something that you're not even really sure how to comprehend, I'm thinking of people's like mental health, especially. People need to be able to distinguish fact from fiction. And without that, we're living in this blurred world. We may see, a real shift in mental health because of this. We see the differences in our generations from the generation that grew up with, solid video games versus those that didn't. Stay tuned, everybody. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I love hearing from you. Brad sent in a note to me saying he loves the Life Shakes. They're absolutely delicious, smooth, satisfying, and something I look forward to every day. Tammy's weekly wellness calls are packed with encouragement and helpful tips that keep me inspired and feeling my best. Those are the types of texts and emails that we get here at Naturally Inspired, because people love the support. It's like, it's clarity for them. Every Tuesday night, we have our weekly wellness workshop, and we come together as a community to support the optimum health journey. So people get results just by becoming a customer. You get to be a part of Naturally Inspired community. You get to join us on Tuesday nights at 7:00. We do a little 30-minute, talk about some kind of health topic. Last week we talked about the bioelectric field, and then we do some question and answer, so you get that support that you need. And we hear from people all the time that we're helping, so we'd love for you to join us. For today's Naturally Inspired moment, I want to talk about some things, 5 strategies for managing your negative emotions. We all have negative emotions. There's something called, I think it's called toxic positivity. Where someone, where you're just like, oh, you shouldn't have negative feelings. You should only have positive feelings. And to a point where it's like toxic. Every time you try to express yourself, maybe you have some anger because you're human and you have some anger. There's a feeling like you're not supposed to express any negative emotions. And you won't find that here, because we're having a human experience here, and we have positive emotions and we have negative emotions, and we feel stuff all the time. So the goal here is not to feel negative emotions, because that's fake and weird and impossible. So how do you best deal with them, right? So here are 5 strategies to work with negative emotions, not against them. Number 1, treat negative emotions as a message. It's not a mistake. It's not something that you need to stop. It's a communication. So instead of pushing your negative emotions away, seek to understand it, a message. Why am I feeling this way? What do I need to know about myself that'll help me understand why I'm getting angry at these things? So fear, for example, fear may be urging you to, to seek deeper information about why you're feeling angry. Anger may be signaling a boundary, right? Some kind of like, hey, and then you've got to learn how to say no. Oh, yes. I remember like that phase, where you feel like you have to say yes to everything. And so you do, but then you actually are resentful about it, right? You have to be able to say no and not feel like you're guilty because you did say no, to understand that you deserve to say no if that's truly what you want. And it's totally okay. So you may be creating your own anger by not communicating what you truly want with people. So it matters to kind of understand that your emotions are messengers. It's communication, teaching you something. Number 2, let emotion guide the right action. So after identifying the message, ask, what's the most aligned response I can choose? Anger doesn't mean to lash out. It might mean to speak up, right? It might mean, okay, let me think about this so I can communicate how I'm feeling. Because you know what it usually is? It is an inability to communicate what you truly are feeling about the situation. Once someone has understanding of how you feel about a situation, then they have a lot more empathy, and they'll try to work with you instead of against you. So let it guide the right action. Don't let it overtake you. Emotions are just energy. So when we listen with intention, we can channel the energy into more empowering action. We can actually navigate it, right? We can, okay, instead of anger, I can move this energy over here into communicating why I feel the way I feel. And then that person then responds with better energy and empathy to how you feel. And it doesn't have to explode into this problem. Number 3, don't rush to fix. Pause to understand. So sit with discomfort, right? You don't have to immediately react. You can take a breath. You can write about it. You can say, I'll get back to you. This matters because we are productivity obsessed culture, and we're taught to solve emotions quickly, go, 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 go. But understanding your emotions gives you so much more wisdom, and it gives you better tools in order to resolve situations in a win-win outcome instead of reacting and ruining the whole relationship or ruining the situation and never being able to get a win-win outcome. Number 4, use emotional contrast to sharpen clarity. Negative emotions create the contrast that helps us define what we value. So, when we're feeling joy, happy, everything's going great, that's wonderful. But understand that to be able to be in that space, you have to have that contrast of negative feelings, loneliness, anger, frustration. This is the contrast to all of the good feelings. Without the negative feelings, there's no contrast to really appreciate those good feelings. So they're necessary. They help us sharpen our clarity, and they shape our values. Our emotions shape our values, right? We do more of what we want to do when it makes us feel good, right? We do more positive things when we're getting positive outcomes from it. So let it shape your actions. Number 5, honor your emotions as part of the human experience. Rather than labeling emotions as good or bad, see it all as a whole, right? It's the whole scope of being human. It's like I was noticing when I was watching the artificial intelligence, podcast there with Eric Schmidt and these guys. Man, they're compartmentalized. They are not seeing the full scope of humanity. They are only seeing one lane, and it's all about progress, and it's all about how we can move forward, be the best, get bigger, better, faster through technology. They're missing the whole scope of humanity, how nuanced we are as humans, how much beauty comes out of messiness of humans. The chaos of nature, that it looks like complete chaos. Nature does sometimes, but then you find out when it settles down, it was all for a purpose. They're trying to orchestrate all of life, and that's not how life is. And we're going to miss a lot of beauty if we, just by trying to control every aspect of humanity and the outcomes of everything, we're going to miss the beauty that is woven into our lives because we want so badly to control all the outcomes. It's the same with your emotions. Some of your emotions are ugly, but that ugliness is actually what makes life so beautiful. It's the very thing, the messiness of life is what makes life so incredible and so beautiful because it always works out. Now, does it work out the way we want it to? No. But it does always work out. And there's an element of faith in that. And there's an element of, nature just doing what nature does. But this obsession with trying to control everything may just be the end. It may bring us to the very end of humanity. And so all we can do is what we are in charge of, which is our own actions, our own thoughts. But I think accepting the messiness of life and trying to navigate through it and giving each other grace, seeking to understand why we feel the way we feel. This is all higher faculties, emotional intelligence. And I think that is how we come through this digital revolution, is those higher faculties, understanding, truly seeking to understand, not just react. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia, and we will be right back. Hour 2.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
We're back already into hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you are joining me today. In the first hour, we've been talking about artificial intelligence, which is, it's so much bigger than just like Chat GPT. This is a huge shift into a whole new digital revolution, and it is going to impact every area of our lives, especially, just even how we get along in the world every day. It's going to be so much more different. I was talking to Jason this morning, and it was a few years ago now. There was this propaganda video that came out for a technology company, and it was like a woman that gets up in the morning, and her AI is talking to her, telling her, "Oh, your coffee's already been ordered for you at Starbucks at this location. Don't forget, you get anxiety, so take these pills." And it was instructing her through her whole day. And it seemed like a science fiction movie. And that was just like a couple years ago. And now it's, we're here. We're here because it's this algorithm that's actually instructing people and shaping the way people act in reality. And it doesn't seem to matter, how it doesn't even seem to matter if it's like a clash in common sense in reality, as long as it aligns with the algorithm wanting you to think and respond in a certain way. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. And I don't know, in this podcast that we were just watching clips from, they talk about the younger generation, how they're going to be just fine moving into this new world because their brains are already programmed for it. They don't know anything beyond it. They don't know anything beyond, the internet. And now, and they quite proudly, Eric Schmidt quite proudly proclaims, that we're almost never not online now. It used to be that you couldn't get internet on planes. Like there was a lot of places where you still couldn't get it. And now, because of Starlink, there just isn't. Everybody is constantly online, making online a somewhat of a virtual reality, right? It is, people are other people. They're not themselves online. And they act differently. They say things differently. I mean, we've all noticed that socially over, Gen Xers especially. It's like, man, if someone said that to my face, when I was a kid, they would have gotten a knuckle sandwich, right? But they're way more confident saying that to you online in the comments than they would ever be saying that to your face. So you can be a different person online than you are in reality. And many people are. And so we really have this dichotomy of life right now where people are operating in the virtual world one way and they're operating in reality a whole other way. And that's where my concern is, like the mental health piece of this. It's overwhelming, because we have this younger generation too that doesn't know what they're missing. They don't know what they're missing because they've never experienced it. And that's, I think, my concern for humanity as a whole is like, do we truly understand what we may be missing here as we give up more and more reality for a synthetic version of reality? Because that's what virtual reality is. It's a synthetic version of reality. Like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? And most people don't even realize it. To make it even more complex, most people don't realize that is what we're doing. So here's another story I want to share with you. It's just a clip from Theo Vaughn's podcast with one of my favorites, Danny McBride. I know. If East Down and Bound, I know it's terrible, it's horrible, but man, we used to laugh so hard at that show. So he's one of my favorites. He's hysterical. Anyway, he had something really profound that I caught this morning, happened to catch on Instagram, even though he's not on Instagram. So I want to share it with you. Here it is.
Since you live over there in Charleston, do you stay out of I know that you don't have social media stuff like that. You just keep all that stuff out of your life? I really do. Yeah. Like when we shot Vice Principals, Walton Goggins and like Busy Phillips, they were on there and they were all kind of telling me, you got to get in there. It's awesome. And so I like had an Instagram account for like a matter of a few months and was like, this.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a gateway for just crazy people to be able to reach out and touch. Some people I know are amazing at that stuff. Yeah. It just didn't feel like a natural fit for me. If you're creative, being bored is good sometimes, right? And I feel like sometimes with these phones, with all this information all the time, your brain is just constantly occupied by other people's noise. And so I felt like when I kind of turned that stuff off, I just felt like there was all of this noise that just went away and then all my stupid ideas could flourish.
I know this sounds weird. I almost miss feeling dumb a little bit.
Yeah. Not knowing about everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah. And not wearing all these things on my face that aren't even of my own life. Didn't you live?
So good. So good. I love that he said that because that's what I've been talking about here, for weeks, for years now, is we're not really understanding what we're giving up. He talks about boredom there. And, when we were kids and we were bored, we had to make up, we had to create entertainment. It wasn't about, going and sitting in front of a screen to consume more entertainment. You had to make your own entertainment. And there's value in that, right? There's value in that critical thinking skill. And I think artists are picking up on this because it's sucking their creativity out because the space in their brain is being taken up all the time. There's no space for your own path of thinking, to your own creativity. And so we're going to see that in comedians. We're going to see that in musicians. We're going to see that in artists, because where is it actually coming from? If you have all this noise in your head all the time that's being put there, there isn't a lot of room for creativity. And so I think, quite just point blank, he's expressing that very thing. I don't want to be on social media because I'm thinking about things. I don't even know these people, and their problems are taking up space in my mind. And I'm not able to create my own ideas around comedy, my own crazy stuff that I want to express and use to make people laugh and contribute to society. That is what we're giving up. That is what we're giving up. We're giving up the space in our own brains to be able to create. And when you think about it, that is why people love life. It's the music. Music brings joy to people, right? Watching people paint things, make people that can make you laugh, storytellers, writers. Like, this is what makes life great. And we're squashing it. We're not allowing space for that to continue on because of technology and these guys that are so like compartmentalized and focused on technology. I'm not sure that they have the ability to understand creativity in that way. Their creativity is different. It's different than, like, I would say more of like a free form creativity where you can just make up jokes, or you've got a rhythm to you where you understand how to make people laugh. And I don't know. It's just, it's a huge thing that we're giving up here. And again, the problem with it is that I'm not sure that everybody even can quantify that. Because again, what I've said many times, like, this is kind of the magic of life. We don't even really have vocabulary to express creativity, why it comes, or consciousness for that matter. We don't even really have the vocabulary to like say, hey, we got to protect this thing here. It doesn't quite hit it when you say, we got to protect creativity. Oh, okay. So we got to make safe spaces for artists and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't quantify it. We don't know why we laugh. We don't know why. We don't know why Tom Petty can write 1 million, awesome hit songs. Like, we don't really know why. And so we have to give it space, though, because clearly we're starting to lose it. All you got to do is look at Hollywood, right? Stay tuned, everybody. Yuval Noah Harari has surfaced, and he has some words for you. Next up, this is Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
It's wild to think about how, the algorithm is shaping people's thoughts, the way they act. We haven't even touched on our children, how our children are impacted with this. I know more and more children that are struggling with anxiety. And, when this issue gets brought to me, I say the first thing I would do if my kid was struggling with anxiety would be to unplug them. Unplug them, because there is just so much input. And, anxiety comes from racing thoughts, right? We know it helps to slow down your thoughts when you're dealing with anxiety. And so if your kid is constantly on their phone and it's TikTok after TikTok, Instagram, they bounce back and forth, TikTok, Instagram, and it's a steady stream of inputs, of course, anxiety is going to become an issue, because the rapid rate of thinking is pushing the body into anxiety, right? It's pushing that feeling on. So, artists are noticing it. And I think we have to protect our kids from it. And that would be the first place that I would start, would be to unplug and get back to nature. Nature is the balance to this digital world. It's becoming more and more obvious to me that nature is going to bring the balance, and us understanding nature and raising our own higher faculties. And when I talk about higher faculties, I'm talking about being able to communicate better. Things like memory, sharpening your memory, because that helps you be a better communicator. Being able to express emotions without ruining relationships. These are all like higher faculty order that you can get better at. And that will help bring understanding around this. And I think, keep us tethered in reality, because the more broken relationships we have, the more inability to communicate, the less we feel understood. Guess where we're going? Online, because everybody needs some sort of interaction. And it's easier for many people because they lack the higher faculties. And it's just easier and more convenient to be online. But we're doing it at great cost. And that's the discussion that is not happening, that needs to happen. And it's very convenient that we don't really have the vocabulary to express consciousness. A lot of times it's blown off, right? Oh yeah, that new age consciousness stuff. No, I'm just talking about being mindful and purposeful in your actions and what you're doing, not unconscious, which many people are unconscious all day long. They're just going through the motions. They're not really present. They're not really, acting with purpose. So Yuval Noah Harari has surfaced on the Rich Roll podcast, actually, of all places. My first thought when I saw this pop up was, he's doing damage control, because I would think that Yuval Noah Harari's reputation is not doing so well, given all things, especially when it came to COVID and the World Economic Forum and all those weird things that he said about there is no freedom and there is no free will and all that stuff, right? So now he's coming back out, and he's going to be rebranding himself. Just watch. He's going to show up in a number of places, I predict. But anyway, I have this clip from the Rich Roll podcast. Let's take a listen to it.
It's a compounding thing that is astronomical. Meanwhile, trillions of dollars are being spent to build these server farms with these NVIDIA chips, and there's so much power required to keep these things going. They're talking about nuclear power. I mean, this is a whole new world. And yet, in talking about it, it still feels somewhat like an academic exercise. Because for myself or somebody who might be watching or listening, their experience with AI comes in the form of ChatGPT or some of these helpful tools. Like, I like my algorithm. It shows me the kind of products that I want to buy without having to search for it. And consumers, like all of us, we're being lured into a trust of something so powerful we can't comprehend, and are ill-equipped to be able to kind of cast our gaze into the future and imagine where this is leading us.
Absolutely. I mean, part of it is that there is enormous positive potential in AI. It's not like it's all doom and gloom. There is really enormous positive potential if you think about the implications for healthcare. That, AI doctors available 24 hours a day that know our entire medical history and have read every medical paper that was ever published and can tailor their advice, their treatment to our specific life history and our blood pressure, our genetics. It can be the biggest revolution in healthcare ever. If you think about self-driving vehicles. So every year, more than 1 million people die all over the world in car accidents. Most of them are caused by human error, like people drinking and then driving or falling asleep at the wheel or whatever. Self-driving vehicles are likely to save about 1 million lives every year. This is amazing. You think about climate change. So yes, developing the AIs will consume a lot of energy, but they could also find new sources of energy, new ways to harness energy that could be our best shot at preventing ecological collapse.
So much here. to unpack. So, of course, I've been saying for a long time now that health will be the way they usher in a lot of this technology and this new way of living in the digital revolution, because the promise of cures, the promise of, making things easier, living healthier, living longer, the promise of it all is very enticing. And, he uses a number of examples here with self-driving cars is a good one, because, on one side, you have this newer generation that's coming up. They have no idea what it was like to roam the streets by yourself all day long. Get on your bike with your little girl gang or your boy gang and go out for the day and fend for yourself as a child, right? Pretty young child, 10 years old, 8 years old. They have never had that experience. And so us older people that have the wisdom of having that experience, it's sad to us to think that they've never experienced that. But if you've never experienced that, you have no idea what you're missing. And that's what we're up against here. Driving, okay, driving's dangerous, right? Driving's dangerous, but driving it's a milestone, right? It's like a line in the sand when my kids got their driver's licenses, right? Before they had their license and after they had their license. Two totally different, right? It spawned independence, maturity, responsibility. It changed. We're going to take that away. What impact on society does that have? We're not talking about that. And I'm not sitting here saying one way or the other. It's definitely not me that gets to make all the choices here, but I'm saying we're not even having these discussions. And the reason why we're not having these discussions is because these powerful billionaires that are pushing this type of stuff through, they don't want the discussions. They don't want the discussions because the discussions, those may slow things down. We got to have these discussions if we truly, want to all be a part of shaping the culture of our country, of whatever, community we're living in. We've got to start having these discussions because this is a different type of person now. A person that doesn't know how to drive, a person that's never been independent, who's never lived away from a phone, who's never, I was thinking about that the other day. We used to drive up. I grew up on Vancouver Island, and we would drive up on a, Friday after school to camp all weekend. And, there'd be hordes of us going up there, 10, 12 cars full of teenage kids. And we didn't have GPS. We didn't have maps. But somehow, we all left at different times. Somehow by 8 o'clock at night when the sun was going down in the summer, we all ended up in the same camping spot and spent the whole weekend there. No phones. That's a different culture than what we're living in today. And there's trade-offs. Those should be discussed. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned. We got more health news for you coming up next.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Thanks so much to our new customers. Welcome to the Naturally Inspired community, Jan, Tom, Billy, Teresa, and Jim. We're so glad that you are here. Of course, you'll be joining us. Hopefully you can all make it Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We have our community call. It's our weekly wellness workshop. We talk about a health topic, and then we do a little question and answer. I also want to read this because Judy sent this in to me over the weekend. Thank you so much for recommending the cellular reset. I've struggled with headaches for years. Nobody could ever tell me why. I've been taking the cellular reset now for 2 months, and I have had 90% reduction in headaches. So thank you so much. Thank you, Judy, for taking the chance. You know, a lot of times when you hear about stuff like this, you're skeptical, right? You're like, oh, yeah, I've tried that. No. So, you know, you just blow it off. I get it. We're marketed to all the time. So I get it. You feel like, it probably won't work for me. But Judy decided to try it, and it worked for her. And so I'm glad. And I hope you will join us on our weekly wellness workshop on Tuesday night. Again, you can get the cellular reset at the Naturally Inspired store. If you have questions about it, 720-303-8868. I'm getting all kinds of testimonies now from this, from yeast infections, UTIs, inflammation, sore joints, headaches now, like tendonitis, a sore ankle. I'm trying to think of all of them because I've gotten so many now. So it is a highly potent polyphenol, and it just is wonderful at oxidative stress and reducing inflammation. So get yours today at naturallyinspiredstore.com, or you can text me 720-303-8868. Next story I want to talk about is the FDA. The FDA has tapped the biotech industry veteran, to be the person who is the top drug regulator. So on July 21st, the US FDA appointed Dr. George Tidmarsh as the new director of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, the agency's largest and most critical division, responsible for reviewing nearly all new drug applications and ensuring drug safety and efficacy. Tidmarsh was, of course, chosen by Marty Makary, which is the FDA commissioner, as part of broader leadership changes, including staffing shifts across the FDA senior roles. So who is George Tidmarsh? Well, he's a Stanford University adjunct professor in pediatrics and neonatology. Tidmarsh holds an MD and a PhD in cancer biology and has founded and led several biopharmaceutical companies, including Horizon Pharma, La Jolla Pharmaceutical, and Revelation Biosciences. Industry impact: he was involved in developing 7 FDA-approved drugs. Horizon Pharma, which he founded, was acquired by Amgen for nearly $28 billion in 2023. This is his first government role. He doesn't have any prior government or regulatory career experience. He's an analyst, see him as a pragmatic, credible leader, apparently capable of stabilizing the drug approval process. The concerns are that critics highlight his deep industry connections, which makes everybody wonder about the revolving door between regulators and biotech firms. Here's the thing. I've said it, now for a while. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. It was splintered. There is splintered into 2 kind of groups, as far as I can see. There's one group that really is focused on nutrition, focused on lifestyle, focused on educating people on how to curate health in their own natural biological body. Because you were born whole. This thing will work for you if you know how to work it. So there's that side who understands the poisoning that is going on through big pharma and is very concerned about the enslavement of medical data and how that may be weaponized against people in the future. And then you have this other side of MAHA who wants to make America healthy again as well, but sees it in a way through their companies who collect data, specifically health data. And then they use that data to, create systems to curate better health, right? So everybody wants better health, but there's a different opinions on how to get there. And more, the thing is that the megacorp, which I call the megacorp because all of these huge corporations now, they all kind of lead back to BlackRock, right? They all lead back to BlackRock, even some people say Vanguard, State Street are in there too, but they're all commingled. So they're all supporting each other's businesses and products, and no, they don't want any of them to fail because they're all invested in all of them. It's very incestuous. And so everyone's kind of pushing for that. The megacorp has its grip on culture and what products are going to be rolling out. I don't know that it can be infiltrated and switched to something like lifestyle. That's going to have to be an individual choice. But it would reflect, Bobby Kennedy Jr. has been in the administration now for a while, right? We're in end of July. And he appears to be aligning with the more technology side of MAHA. The administration appears to be aligning with the corporations, right? They want to support the economy. They want to make sure people don't go hungry. They want to make sure that those power brokers from the corporation are happy. And so making America healthy again then is going to involve wearables and biotechnology and all of that stuff. It's very interesting, to say the least. It's very interesting. And I think having a biotech industry veteran in a position to approve drugs, along with understanding that there is this wing of Make America Healthy Again that is highly invested in wearables and invested in kind of the biohacking element of health, that is where this ship is going. Wouldn't you just love to be able to just like ask questions to some of these people? Like, what happened? What happened when you came into this position? Like, give me the full picture here. I want to understand what's happening. Because I guess natural medicine doesn't make any money. Your lifestyle can't necessarily be monetized unless they're tracking it and tracing it and selling that data on you. Unless what you do is being monetized, it has to be measured and tracked to be monetized. And so there has to be some way to support those corporations and their agenda. Otherwise, what happens is maybe the economy falls. I'm trying to understand here. I'm trying to understand, because we're in the midst of this digital revolution too, where clearly everything, there's these two paradigms that people are living in, virtual reality and reality. And it seems like less and less people are dealing in reality. And so you can't, drag everybody back to reality. It's too late. It's too late to do that. Like I said, we have whole generations now. They don't know how to operate in reality. They only know how to operate in virtual reality. And that's where we're at. So bringing in a biotech industry veteran like this guy to regulate top drugs is a signal to me that biotech is about to, get even bigger and take up more of the market share in health. And I want to remind you, I've been talking about predictive health. Yuval Noah Harari's talking about health and, helping people and solving disease and all that. What he doesn't mention is everything we know about health is just theory. It's just a theory. Let's talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
My time with you goes by so fast. For years, I struggled with bloating, irregular digestion, and that constant heavy feeling after eating, even when I was eating clean. Nothing really helped long term until I started using your liquid collagen daily. Within just a couple of weeks, I noticed less bloating, smoother digestion, and even more regularity. I didn't expect my gut to feel this calm and supported just from taking collagen, but now I can't imagine going without it. My skin and joints are loving it too, but the gut changes were the biggest surprise. That's from Stephanie. Stephanie, thank you so much for sending that in. To my text line, 720-303-8868. If you're taking any of the products from Naturally Inspired's product line, please let me know how they're going for you. I want to know. We have a money-back guarantee. We have a money-back lifetime guarantee. You buy something, you don't like it, you return it, So you have nothing to lose. And I'll tell you, I will not go without these two products anymore. And they are the low molecular weight liquid collagen and the cellular reset. They're just making such a big difference in my own life in terms of mobility, in terms of energy, just range of motion, like all kinds of things are stacking up. Better hair, better nails, better skin, all that stuff is great. But the way I feel is what's really the best thing about taking these two things. And I won't go without them anymore. So get yours today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. You can click on the cellular reset, click on the collagen, have a look around the website because they're wonderful, clinically proven, tested for toxicity, all the things has already been done for you. These are clean products. So get yours today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, for today's health topic, I want to talk about movement. And I want to talk about it in a different way than, the obvious. It's like, oh, yes, I know I'm supposed to exercise. But why, right? Why am I supposed to exercise? So I want to talk about some of the more unknown, fascinating biological effects of movement. It's not just about burning calories or, losing weight. It's so much more than that. So here are 7 lesser known fascinating biological effects of exercise or movement. It actually is a brain drain. So it increases lymphatic flow when you move, especially through rhythmic activities like walking, or for me, running, or bouncing. I've talked about doing rebounding. It helps pump cerebral spinal fluid through your brain's lymphatic system. This clears out your metabolic waste, and movement literally cleans your brain. And I find this so funny because That's been happening to me for so many years. I've been a runner for a long time. But when I would go certain periods of time without running, I felt like I needed to go sweat just to cleanse my mind, my brain, and my body. But it truly felt that way. So that's so interesting. So it's a lymphatic flow support movement. Exercise triggers myokine release, muscle-generated messengers. So contracting muscles releases chemical messengers called myokines that act like tiny hormones. So some reduce inflammation, others regulate blood sugar, and a few even have anti-cancer properties. Muscles don't just move you, they talk to your organs. And that's why I'm always telling you about doing squats after you eat, right? To help regulate your blood sugar, or going for a quick walk, because this is actually, sending messages out to your muscles, and it creates a chemical release. Super important, especially after eating. Number 3, moving opens up the lymphatic system. So like a stagnant pond, right? You see these scummy green ponds and there's nothing moving, on the water. Think of that like your body. When you don't move your body, your lymphatic system needs that movement. So unlike blood, your lymph doesn't have a pump. Movement is the pump. Every jump, stretch, and twist helps push lymph through its channels, flushing out toxins and supporting immune health. Without movement, your detox system slows way down. And of course, I always talk about skin brushing too, right? You can do so many things to help your detox pathways along. And you always want to be detoxing, right? There's certain pathways through your body that help your body get rid of a lot of this junk that we're exposed to. But you got to help it along, right? You don't want to slow it down by being sedentary. So you want to move with it. Number 4, joint movement nourishes cartilage, which has no blood supply. So cartilage gets its nutrition through a process called imbibition, which happens when you compress and release the joint. So when you're squatting, when you're walking, when you're bouncing, literally, if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. And your cartilage will literally starve if you don't have movement. So support your cartilage with and your fascia with collagen, because as you know, we start losing collagen in our mid-20s, more 1% every year, even earlier sometimes. And so you have to supplement, but also move it for its preservation. Number 5, slow movement triggers the vagus nerve. So, Tai Chi. When I was a kid, I remember my dad used to play fast pitch men's baseball. And so I basically grew up on a baseball field. And before the games would get started, there was a community center there, and all these people would be outside doing this Tai Chi movement. And, we were little jerk kids, so we used to make fun of them, of course. We make fun of what they were doing. And we thought, what? That's not exercise? Like, what is that, right? It was actually, it's nervous system support. It triggers the vagus nerve, right? So gentle, mindful movement like stretching, slow walking, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which we've talked about a lot, especially in the last week or two. And it helps regulate your heart rate. It regulates digestion and emotional balance. And movement doesn't just hype you up, it can also calm you down. Think about this tool when it comes to our kids. They don't know how to slow down the thought train. They're not taught many adults are not taught how to slow down the thought train. But if you are moving your hand through the air in Tai Chi practices and learning the different postures, you're forced to focus on the physical body and move slowly. It automatically slows the mind, which helps get a hold on feelings like anxiety, a hold on feelings like fear, right? Brings your thoughts right into the present. and you can slow it down. And there's a physical response, right? We've talked about the vagus nerve, how singing or humming or even gargling stimulates the vagus nerve. So you can have more control over how you feel. Number 6, exercise alters mitochondrial dynamics. Movement signals your body to build more mitochondria, your cell's energy engines, and to remove the damaged ones. This process, called mitochondrial biogenesis, helps slow cellular aging. So more movement equals better energy and cleaner cells. Again, a good visual is just thinking of that stagnant pond, right? You want to move it around. Movement also improves gut motility without food. So simply walking after a meal or doing gentle morning movement stimulates the gut. This is a wave-like muscle contraction that moves food and waste through your digestive tract. So you don't need to do a cleanse. A lot of these 5-step cleanses, a lot of people go through these protocols. They pay thousands of dollars for them. What you really need to do is get into a lifestyle practice, right? That's filled with consistency and movement and good nutrition that you're bringing in, and a mindfulness about what you're exposing yourself to in terms of toxicity, right? When it comes to things in your environment inside your house or things that you're ingesting or injecting. There needs to be mindfulness around this. What is your toxic burden? And how can you lower it? How is that toxic burden causing signals coming from your body? There really is a recipe. There's a recipe for optimum health. Everybody's a little different. You have to tweak it from time to time. But it isn't as difficult, I think, as many would have you believe. You've been listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. It's been a Monday, but we'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, right here at 3 o'clock. Join us.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.